their life is just to survive.
Mm.
But there are also many countries to have a future to develop, to involve,
Yes.
to evolve. But yeah, like I said, there are a lot of countries that willing to survive, just only survive, not not thinking far away, like to how to save the world, how to save another person, but
Yes.
just the main problem of them is like, yeah,
What will they eat
yeah.
tomorrow? Like, yeah, stuff like that.
I remember that the only thing about globalization is weakening borders with other countries.
Yes, true.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's bringing people closer together because yeah, the borders of uh, other countries are weakening, and we can communicate with other countries,
Yes.
other people, other yeah, yeah, like that.
I want to grow. I want to grow. I want to be better so that they are not only afraid to make differences, they also are brave enough to take the action. They are also capable enough of doing their responsibility on their part. So the mindset of I want to grow. I want to grow up.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back to Boarding Talk. Hi again, guys.
Hello.
So for this episode, we're gonna discuss about one planet, different realities, how culture, technology, and politics shape our future. Okay, do you think people in different countries see the future differently?
Of course. Of
Mhm.
course they see the future different, not only in different country, but also like just me and you, like we see like our future differently because we are shaped by different environment. We are shaped by different values that our family shared, and maybe it is we have but we still have a lot of in common, a lot of things
Yeah,
in common.
that's right.
And however, that gap that we have regarding our values, our family, what we see, our economic backgrounds, those things, those aspects tend to be much bigger with someone from different nationalities, different countries, because like not only our economical background, but also like their values are very much different than our values, and also their habits, their daily life routines, everything. So although we have differences with the people here in Indonesia too, but we have bigger
Yeah,
differences with someone who's abroad. What do you think?
yeah, I think the same because there are many types of people around the world, right?
Yes.
There are a lot of countries that their purpose or their what yeah, their life is just to survive. But there are also many countries to have a future to develop, to involve,
Yes.
to evolve. But yeah, like I said, there are a lot of countries that willing to survive, just only survive, not not thinking far away, like to how to save the world, how to save another person, but
Yes.
just the main problem of them is like, yeah,
What will they eat
yeah,
tomorrow? Like, yeah, stuff like that.
like
That's true.
that.
That's true.
So, do you believe that globalization is bringing people closer together or further apart?
Although we don't really see it, but it's actually doing both. Like, of course, like technology, globalization, we connect with other people around the world easier, right? Like with a
Yes.
simple button, with a simple text, we can just connect with them. And by doing those things, we are actually like blurring all of those real life limitations, real life limitations. However, if we are actually connecting with the people around the world, especially on social media, we can also get some kind of picture, and also there are also highlights of the differences between us, between the people like maybe who has some Islamic background, Christianity background, or other religions. We see those highlights, and if we misuse them, if we misuse the internet when without proper education or proper guidance, then those differences are not actually bringing us together, but actually what is tearing us apart, that could tear us apart, like those differences. So it does actually doing both if we are not really in a proper guidance or education. What do you think?
Okay, so I think about globalization is bringing people closer together or further apart because we are from international relations, right? And
Yes.
we learn about globalization, and I remember that the only thing about globalization is weakening borders with other countries.
Yes, true.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's bringing people closer together because yeah, the borders of uh, other countries are weakening, and we can communicate with other countries,
Yes.
other people, other yeah, yeah, like that lah.
Yeah, it's true. Of course, of course. I get what you mean.
Yeah.
So, what impact do you think does culture have on people's life, thoughts, and also decision making?
A lot.
Like what?
uh, it's like for example, in Padang, the culture is like
Nasi Padang.
no,
Okay.
not Nasi Padang. For
Okay.
the boys or the men, it's like to what how to what, merantau ke ya gimana caranya merantau sih ke Jakarta gitu.
Okay.
But for Sundanese people, Sundanese people, yeah,
Sundanese.
yeah, the Sundanese, for the Sundanese, they tend to stay in their city, like
Yes.
how to live a slowly life,
Slow living.
yeah, slow living life, right?
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, and yeah, it impact to their decision making life and thoughts.
Yes, yes.
What do you think?
Yeah, I also think that culture have a very big impact on life's thoughts and also decision making. Just for example, like this is not only like our culture, like Padang culture
Oh,
or
yeah.
Sundanese culture, like even like for a very big culture and also society, like in the Egypt,
Yeah.
like people in the Egypt has some kind of measurement for their dates, for how they do their makeup, like Cleopatra, and it spreads all around. Yeah, right.
Okay.
It spreads all around the world with, and people use it as a reference, and people also see that maybe this is also some kind of nepotism, maybe also, because it is a different context with the Egypt culture. But if we see someone who is from Indonesia and we are doing some kind of job recruitment, and we tend to have some kind of what do you can identity sense of identity, the same sense of identity, with them. So the culture and also the identity. They also shape on how the person who is recruiting, like, tend to lean more to the with the people who has the same culture, the same identity as them. So yeah, it impacts on their decision making. And maybe because we also have like Islamic background, right?
Yeah, that's right.
The country also tend to lean more to the Islamic choices to like policy. I mean, the Islamic policy and Islamic habits too, right? So yeah, those culture and also ideology, identity, those shapes everything very much.
Yeah. But I'm a little bit curious about so the makeup that on your eyes, like it's from Egypt. I'm
Well,
not.
yeah, people. Well, there are a lot of arguments regarding that,
Oh, okay.
but Cleopatra, or not just her, but the people in Egypt, they tend to use a very bold makeup. Like even though it's not really the same pencil that we use now, like they use some kind of ash or anything that make their eyes look black. Yeah, they we see it as a reference, like okay, that makes the eyes look beautiful. Or even like the Arabic people, they
Ah,
also
yeah,
use
yeah,
some kind of
yeah,
right.
yeah. That's right. That's right.
So those are cultures, right? They use the black thing on the eye. What do you call them? Yeah, the
I
black
don't
thing.
know.
Yeah, the black thing on the eye. But it
Yeah.
was not for beauty purpose in the first place. They were for trying to. They were right in the desert, right? Arabic people, they
From
live
the
through the
desk.
desert.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
they live through the desert, and because they are in the desert, and they can have like some kind of light, and sometimes the sun is too bright, and they try to lessen the eyesight, their eyesight, by doing those black, yeah,
Okay.
black accessory thing.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's true.
Okay, so why is community valued more highly in some cultures than individuality in others?
It depends on historical and also in the social context, especially here in Asia and in Indonesia. We see that what a very harmony society as something that provides more stability, and it gives like a very family environment, so we tend to be more comfortable. Yeah, I think it's just different in how the people actually, how the people are. Yeah, what do you think?
Okay, so I think it's because people tend to search common things with others. So uh, the community, of course, community is like they have something in common, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So people, it's like I think it's natural. It's natural for human to what yeah defend themselves with a group.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so yeah, it's yeah, human is a social thing.
Okay, that's true. And how do you think cultural values affect the education systems?
Mm, yeah, I think it impact a lot. Yeah, like you said before, like in Indonesia, our historical are more what yeah, um, in Islamic ways, right? In Islamic ways. So there are a lot of pesantren in Indonesia,
Yes.
pondok, right? But uh, in other countries, there more a lot of church or something like that. I don't know what it's called, but yeah, it impact our educational system. And our educational system before, it's like the teacher are teaching the students. Like
Yes.
But nowadays, it's more like the teacher are guiding the students. The students have to what yeah have through their journey. Yeah, through their journey.
Yeah.
So, what do you think?
I think well, it's just like you said, because cultural values does have a big impact on the educational systems. Let us see, like from a very small picture, like maybe in a school, in a classroom. Like there are countries, or even not just countries, but people who have a very introverted culture, who think that the students can only say they're the best if they just do their tests like a very excellent, and they have a very high grade. Or there's also a culture that is also extroverted, and think that the students' participation in a class is very much something that is very what excellent. But I think there are also a culture that shapes the interaction. Like they are somewhere there are like a place where the students cannot really speak out for their opinions, because it can be too disrespectful to the teachers, because they are not used to students and not just saying yes, just nodding, and they're not really used to opinions. But there are also places like, of course, ICMS, who respect the opinion of the children, and also trying to be respectful to the
Yes, that's right.
students, and also nurture and also guide them to not the shape that we want, but the best shape that they can.
Yeah, that's right. So, do you think is it important for students to understand cultures beyond their own?
Of course, it is important to understand the culture beyond their own, because we as a society, as a human who lives in a society, we do not only just live on our own, right? We interact with them, we interact with a lot of people, and those people, most of them don't have the same culture as you do. So by interacting with them, and of course, we expect to have a good relations with them. We need to know their views on life, their cultures, like what they do on their daily lives as habits because of their cultures, so we can respect them. So we could know when to say when to say something that is appropriate, when is to do something yeah that you should do according to their culture. Yeah, just to respect them, because we live in a society and we live together, not just by our own. What do you think?
I agree with you. I totally agree with you. Uh, like you said before, human is a social being,
Yes.
and of course, we live with other people, with other culture, with other ethic. Uh, so yeah, because of that, we have to tolerate all of them. Not like not just think of yourself, of your culture. It's like not, uh, it's not push your culture to accepted by other people.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Next, how does access to technology shape opportunities in education and careers, in your opinion?
Well, of course, technology can open many doors, as we have also mentioned before on our previous boarding talk, because we can access to many informations, many opportunities, and regarding this education specifically, we can access online courses, like
Yeah.
career opportunities, like even international organization, we can also apply them at home, like by doing something on your computer, sitting at your desk. So technology, it shape opportunities in education and also careers. However, the key is just not access, but how effectively the students can use it.
Okay.
Okay, so what do you think?
Okay, so I think yeah, of course it helps a lot. It shape opportunities in education and careers. Like nowadays, if you want to apply for a job, you just there are a lot of website program or software to to apply, like LinkedIn, Job Seeker, and
Yes.
others. But before you have to walk around the company
Yeah, and you have to give
to
them your CV.
your CV
Even
to
there was like a line.
yeah, right. Yeah, so it helps a lot to make an opportunity in education and career.
Yes. So, do you think growing up with technology makes students more prepared or just more dependent on them?
Hmm. Um, I a little bit confused to choose uh, more prepared or more dependent because I think the student just have to what yeah to maximize
Yes.
to not depend to the technology, but use it wisely to maximize it and yeah, just don't depend on technology.
Okay. I think technology is it can be very helpful for the preparation, right? But I have to be honest. I cannot really see not only the student in HMS, but also the students like all around the world or even in Indonesia that even uses like a dictionary book to look up on something. You see, like I think those instances like where they have to look up something and they don't really need a book, they just open their laptop
Yeah.
and they uses Google. I think for me there is also some kind of form of dependency. So if they are also using the book like in library, or they're just like by looking up some words on English dictionary on a book, right? Not on Google Translate. Maybe they can. I can say that they are not too dependent on the technology. But by seeing the people around me, even like my cousins, my small cousins, they are avoiding books as much as possible. So I think they're becoming dependent on the
Okay.
technology or even too dependent on it. Yeah.
Okay. So how do government policies influence education and technology development?
I think the government policies play a very major role, right? They determine like the funding, the curriculum, and also the access of the students to
Yeah,
the
that's right.
technology. And the strong policies can improve the education qualities and innovation. But we are also talking not about only the policy, but also the people who are governing it, right?
Yeah.
Because if we see some kind of policy that are good, but we don't have someone who can, do it like uh, as it is, as it should be, we are still going to have a lot of challenges,
Yes,
and we
that's
are
right.
still not going to be developing more and
That's
more.
right.
But
That's right.
but I also see that we have some kind of we 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 are also developing very fast on the educational system. Yeah, especially the technology part. What do you think?
Yeah, I think government policies, of course, have a big influence
Yes.
in education and technology development because, however, we live in Indonesia, and there are rules, policies, and a law that we have to live, right?
Yes, yes.
But at the same time, um, if the government didn't or don't make a good policies or make a bad policies, then that's our job. That's our responsibility to um, correct them, to have them to know that the policies are bad for our future. Like for the example, in Aceh, right? The government have policies to plant sawit, but yeah, the effect of it, like
Yeah,
yeah,
the impact.
the impact is bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, not yeah. Of course, the government have a big influence.
Yes. So, why do you think some countries progress faster than the others?
Yeah, like I said before, the main problem or the main purpose for every country is different. Like in I don't know, maybe in Zimbabwe, the purpose or their problem is just to survive for each day of life. But yeah, for in Indonesia or other um, grow country, the problem is how to develop their country. What do you think?
I think there are many factors, like just like you said, like their survivability condition and something like that. But what I see is education is the most important, because if you see countries that are developed, those are the type of countries that tend to put priorities on the education of their people. Like we see, like our neighbor Singapore,
Yeah, that's right.
Japan, like those countries, they really put priorities on the education of the people. So they focus on the human development. So maybe like we'll see like Indonesia situation, like we have the mining area, we have the mining resources,
Yeah, that's
but we
right.
don't have the technology, we don't have the tools, we don't have the people to do it. Why not? Because we are not developed enough. The human development is not good enough. So we use other states' resources, or even some of the spots, some of the area of the mining area. They are being sold to other countries, right? So those are very unfortunate, but that is what's going on. Like you should prioritize education over everything, because the human are the one who is developing the countries. If we are not educated, then who's going to develop it?
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Next, should schools prepare students to think globally? Why?
Of course, because the world is interconnected, right? And there's also the talk of globalization, about how the border of every country is blurring. And if we think just like in HMS, what can you do like for the future in HMS? What can you do if you like thinking just around the Tangkil area, right? Because if you have aspirations, if you can think globally, you can see the people who can like who have not better, who have what you want. Like
Yeah.
maybe you're dreaming to become a chef, but if you don't really think globally, maybe you will end up in ICMS as chef. But that is not a bad thing, but it just limits your
Perspective.
potential. Right?
Yeah.
It just limits your potential. Maybe you can provide 100 lunch to the people in HMS, but outside you can go around and influence 10,000 chefs around the world. So it's not really a bad thing to stay in your hometown, to stay in your area, but it's a better thing for you to explore more around the world globally. So you should think global. What do you think?
Yeah, I think, of course, schools have to prepare students to think globally. Why? Because, yeah, don't don't be comfort in your safe zone.
Don't be too comfortable.
Yeah, in Indonesia there's pepatah, oh enggak?
A saying.
Ya, jangan jadi katak dalam tempurung. Yeah, so there are a lot of things in outside your world. There are a lot of example. There are a lot of uh, things to learn, things to do around the world. So yeah, explore the world.
That's true.
Okay, last question.
Yes.
What kind of mindset do students need to thrive in a globalized world?
A mindset that I want to grow. I want to grow, I want to be better, so that they are not only afraid to make differences, they also are brave enough to take the action. They are also capable enough of doing their responsibility on their part. So the mindset of I want to grow. I want to grow up. What do you think?
Just one thing, don't be afraid to make a mistake.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you guys, and this is an interesting topic. One planet, different realities, how culture, technology, and politics shape our future. Thank you, Miss Anggi. Thank you guys for watching. Bye bye. Assalamualaikum.